Welcome back into the 2016 Centennial Conference Football Kickoff Show. I'm now joined by Coach John Troxell, Franklin and Marshall, and defensive lineman Jon Naji. Thank you guys so much for taking some time out to chat.
Great to be here.
So, long off season, about ready to get things going, heading into camp. A lot of excitement here on campus?
A lot of excitement. We're really excited because, we got a great senior group coming back. We have 23 seniors, and you can't replace experience in this conference. So that makes it exciting for us.
7 offensive returning starters, 7 defensive returning starters. You got some specialists coming back as well. Knowing that you have a good group of guys who have been around part of this program for a while, what types of things can we look forward to this season in terms of position battles, potentially at quarterback, per se, in terms of what you're looking at going into camp here?
Yeah, so we'll have 2 guys battling, Tanner Arisman, Zach Bradley. Both have started games here. Tanner started, I think, 4 games for us a year ago. Zach started games his freshman year. They both had great off seasons. Both have live arms. Both can stretch the field and get the ball down the field. And then when you're bringing back returning starters out on the edge and some really quality backups, and then your backfield is back, it's going to create some excitement for our team. Our tight end is back, so. Offensively, I think we'll become a little bit more explosive than we've been the last 2 seasons.
Now you have a ton of playmakers, but you have to replace a few pieces on the offensive line. You've had a lot of success a few years ago, only a handful of sacks allowed to your quarterback, and I know that that's a huge emphasis for your program. But when you have to replace those guys, what does that mean in terms of getting them ready for week 1?
It's not easy, obviously. I mean, the O-line in this league, it's really important because, you got to be able to run the football. So we'll return 3 guys up front, our center, Mark Opoliski, left guard, Matt Levinka, and then Mike Realbuto, who'll be playing right tackle this year, played a ton of football for us a year ago. So, but to replace 2 guys, one, Ryan Ignatovic was a 4-year starter. Won't be easy, but Tom Civic, who's a sophomore, he's ready to go, and we're excited for him. And so I think we're going to be in pretty good shape.
John, I'm going to turn it over to you to talk a little bit about the defense here. Over the last year in particular, you guys had a pretty good trend in terms of allowing fewer points, but there was a little bit of a bend but don't break mentality, more yards than the year before. Is that something you guys embrace? Is that something you're trying to change going into this season? Where's the defensive unit at mentally?
I think mentally, we always want to let up as few yards as possible and obviously as few touchdowns as possible. But I think our mentality is just, do our job every single play. I feel like a lot of times we will get away from ourselves and lose our composure, and that's why you might see us give up a few more yards. But for the most part, we're just focused on doing our assignments every play.
So going into this season, obviously you've spent some good time on the field playing on that D-line. You also have to replace some of the guys who line up on either side around you. How do you view yourself in terms of bringing some of the new starters along on the defensive side?
Well, I think I'm just going to try and do my best to make sure we bring everybody along. We have a few guys who we really think that can compete for us. We really need some more game time experience, but I think that we're just going to lead by example, and I'm going to do my best to lead by example, and hopefully they see the attitude we bring and the mentality it's going to take to do well this year.
So heading into this season, expectations, I think, are appropriately high. You've received some recognition from the voters going into the polls. I don't know if it's gone out yet, so I don't want to give too much away. But do you embrace that, saying other people are looking at us as one of the top teams in this conference?
I think we do our best to stay away from looking at the polls too much. But, every week we're just focused on going 1-0. And like I said before, just doing our assignments. That's all we can really control. Everything else is, up to the conference to decide. But we're going to go into every game with the same mentality, just to beat the team ahead of us and try not to look too ahead of us.
So other people's expectations aside, what is it going to take for Franklin and Marshall to win a Centennial Conference title this year?
I think, like I said before, we just have to focus on not looking ahead of our schedule, focusing on every game that we have in front of us. And honestly, I think that we just need to limit the mistakes that we make and just do our assignment every play. I think that's our biggest struggle. At times we lose our composure, and sometimes we come out flat in the second half. So if we can put that behind us, we should stay on track.
Over your time with the program, there's been some shifting in terms of defensive setups. How do you personally adjust to those? Does that become a challenge, or is it a thing where as you've grown and progressed as a player, it's become easier to take those changes in stride?
I think as I've grown as a player, it's definitely been easier. I don't mind the defensive adjustments too much. I think that I look forward to new schemes and different elements that a new coach has to bring, or a different scheme that they have to bring. So I think that it's exciting for us and the rest of my team to learn new defenses and maybe do something different every play.
So you guys are getting ready for camp. Week 1 is here at home in Lancaster. The last season in Spinagle-Williamson Field, getting set for a new facility over on the other side of Harrisburg Pike. Maybe talk a little bit about what that means in terms of building some excitement this season. I'll field that one to both of you. I'll start with you, John.
Well, it's definitely exciting, with the new stadium coming in. Unfortunately, I'll miss it by a year, I think. But no, it's great for the program, and I think that it'll really put us on the map even more so, and that everyone will be excited about playing there.
What does it mean for you as a coach who's sticking around and you don't get to graduate?
Yeah, it's really exciting. It's been a long time coming, and just even in recruiting, having upgraded facilities will help. And it's bittersweet because we've played so many years on Williamson Field, and it's going to be exciting now. The last go around, the last time we'll step on the field will be against Johns Hopkins, and I think we'll get a lot of guys coming back for that game to say goodbye to a lot of history and a lot of tradition.
Well, it'll be a lot of fun. You got to start on the other side of the schedule, though. Week 1 at home against Lebanon Valley, 1 p.m. kickoff on Saturday, September 3rd. Thank you guys for taking some time out to chat, and best of luck heading into this season.